What's up, everybody? Rob Nakamura here with the High Chief, Zac Pauga, and the very special guest, someone that means a lot to me, Korean John. What's up, boys?
How's it going, man?
Shit. It's good, man. That intro is from the Calico Storico. I don't know how to speak Italian. I'm probably saying it wrong, but we're coming in a mob this episode, three deep, just like they run in a whole squad, a mob. One of the coolest things I've ever seen. I didn't even know it existed until a couple weeks ago, getting to see the highlights all over the internet. But we've been so busy with other fight stuff on a slower week. I finally had the chance to bring this sport up. And I'm just gonna pass the ball right to you, Zac. I mean, this is like your whole career. It's your whole professional career in one sport, bro. Rugby, football, and fighting.
I'm just curious what the actual rules are. I've like everybody, literally everybody sends me those clips. Everyone says, "Oh, you should have done this. This should have been what you did." Everyone sends me those clips. Like I don't know what the actual rules are. To me, it just seems like too much. Like for a fan or for a spectator, like are you watching the ball? Are you watching the two random guys fighting in the corner? What is the point of this sport?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I looked up a little bit. One, you wouldn't want to do it, so tell everybody stop sending it because it's like free. Apparently, they divided 4 sectors of Italy, and it's just like you gang up for your community. You just like you're throwing down for your block. You're not even like it's not even for
I like
nothing.
that. I like that.
Okay.
For
Maybe
rep,
you
it's
do
for
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like ancient gangbanging? Is that what it is?
Pretty much it is, and you just rep your color and your set, and that's what it is. um the championships are held every June 24th, so throw that out there. It's played on a sand field with 27 members per team. I don't know how many. I guess that's how many are on the field. It looks like that many from the videos. It's a Renaissance era sport, so it survived a really long time. The goal is to carry the ball to the opponent's end legally. And while you can legally so instead of like setting blocks, like in modern fighting is setting blocks. So that's it. Like that's all I got. That's all I know about this sport. But um John, like, what's your thoughts when you see these kind of clips circulating the internet? Because it took the MMA community by storm.
I think I saw this on like some Netflix documentary a few years back. I think there was something about it. Um, yeah, it's brutal, man. Like if just look, just those clips that you showed earlier, guys are just bare knuckle, just violence, man. People just love violence, man. Like if you're complaining about the UFC not being, having an event this last week, there's plenty of other stuff you could watch, right? That can take up your time. There's always violence, man. It's very brutal. I feel like if you're not into it, then you're totally against it because dudes are losing teeth. Like teeth is flying out. I'm pretty sure there's got to be medical crews out there, right? If
Yeah,
not,
there's no kicks to the head is like the only rule I could find. So you punch and grapple, just no kicking to the head is it. So yeah, good stuff. No, you're right, dude. It's like you either have an appetite for this kind of violence or you don't. Got one more clip. Just it kind of makes a little bit more sense, I think, with the second clip. I don't know. Whatever. We're running it.
Soprattutto per riuscire a trovare lo spazio, vero Alessandro? Intanto sì, dopo le cacce ci sono sempre momenti di nervosismo. Questa volta la situazione è un'ultima caccia, trovare lo spazio decisivo. Recupero per 3-2 sui verdi di San Giovanni che ancora con De Lucia hanno accorciato. E attenzione perché adesso...
There it is.
That didn't
So-
help at all. Understanding that. Just like
what I was gonna say is like this is a sport. We're gonna call this a sport, right? This is
Yeah.
a sport that requires a lot of trust, right? There was 2 refs out there. Like you gotta trust and you gotta believe in the other team and the crowd that if you lose, that if you go down in the corner, like they're not just gonna let this guy mud stomp you and kill you in the corner, or that he's not going to. He's gonna respect the game itself and move on and not just kill you if you go down.
Yeah, a lot of honor required for sure. But I've said this many times in different times. I have like a laundry list of fights and fighting events I want to see around the world, like on my bucket list before I die. I've now added another. Now I have another. I know it's not quite technically a fight, but Italy, I'll see you soon. Well, at least during June, so I can watch this.
yeah, it's
you know.
definitely like a sporting event where it probably is better live. Like you're in the crowd, you're getting wasted, and people are getting wasted while you're, you know what I mean? Like both ways. Like you're getting wasted and people are getting wasted on the field. It's just, yeah, definitely. I would probably, if it is available, I would probably go and watch that for sure. That's yeah.
Hell yeah. That's the spirit, dude. That's it right there. Well, John, you might have had a little bit of foresight because you were talking about the other things just a minute ago, the other things that are available to watch on non-UFC weeks, which is like its own little discussion. And you had a great post that brought us up. And I just wanted to toss this question around before we get into BKFC, which was to me one of the leading products to watch during the UFC timeout period, rest period, whatever. You said, hey, I like, and I'm paraphrasing, I like this break before a big event, big numbered event. It kind of gives that time to build up the excitement and build up for that fight. I've said similar things in the past, but I'm also on board for there to be a break, and that maybe not both, just like pick one or the other, but a break after the big number event. So it's not like what me and Zach talked about a couple episodes ago. Like we go from the White House to the warehouse, and I'm not dogging the apex, but
That's the new name of the podcast.
yeah, you know, I think there could be strategic pauses in the schedule to rebuild the appetite. I don't know what John, since it's your post that I'm building off of, what's, you know, explain more of your point of view on that.
I just think that, you know, if you remember when there weren't as many events, you know, throughout the year, they kind of built it up. I feel like with the embedded series, they're not doing it right. I don't even really watch them anymore, to be honest with you, because it's almost like the same thing. You're getting, you know, everybody complains about it. You're getting a haircut, you're gonna go eat some food. You show like their family life, they're packing their bags. You know what I mean? Like what? How many times can you show that without it being repetitive? I feel like the embedded should be a 2-week thing, where like you have a week off, so you follow them kind of at the tail end of their training camp. You get to see like their you know, like a little bit more in depth of like what they have to go through. I feel like fans need to see that more rather than them getting haircuts. Don't you think like that would be more interesting as a viewer to see that? And then I'll probably start watching it again, you know, the embedded, even the countdowns. I don't even really watch those anymore either, because I don't know, I feel like I know about these fighters as much as anybody else, and they don't really reveal much. Taking a break, man, like and it gives a breather to the UFC, and it also like allows other promotions to have events during those weeks and get a little bit more attention. I feel like there should be more balance, you know, and I think fans can go over and watch like BKFC or the PFL or RIZIN or whatever, you know, you like to watch, because there's so many events around the world. The UFC is just oversaturated at some points, and
Yes.
I'm not really complaining about it because I like to watch the fights, but yeah, it can get repetitive. Like you almost get lost in the sauce after a while.
I can agree with you more there. I've abandoned watching the embeddeds, and just because exactly what you said, like it's the same thing over and over again. It doesn't really show anything new or compelling anymore. And I couldn't agree with you much more on all of those topics, dude. Zach, would you want it before, like, John leading to the event, or
So, well, definitely, and like, I'm not a TV producer, right? But I've been on a lot of TV, and I've been a part of Embeddeds, right? Mainly as Curse Blade's training partner. But it's like, even shooting it is lame. They're there on like Tuesday, and you're leaving on Wednesday, and just like you said, they'll be like, "What are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm getting a haircut." And they'll go and sit there, and they just ask you the dumbest questions. Say something about Tom Aspinall. Say you're worried about he's fast. Like, that's literally it. They literally ask you what you're doing. "Oh, we're going to dinner. We went to like a Brazilian steakhouse when he fought Almeida." And they're like, "Talk about Brazilian food and how you don't like it and all this stuff." And I was like, nobody wants to watch this, guys. Like, no, what are we doing here? We're just wasting our time. Thanks for the dinner, I guess. They paid for dinner. But like,
nice.
That's like 100%. And my big answer, which I can't believe the UFC had, like, I don't know why they don't do this to begin with. The UFC right now is its own minor league. Like, the Apex fights are a different product than the numbered UFC events. I just don't know why we call them all UFC. Like, the difference between a fight night and a numbered card is so astronomical. Like we said, going from the White House back to the Apex, nothing, like, you just need to change the name. Just change the name so the casual person doesn't get tired thinking that there's an actual UFC on every week, because truly there's not. Dude, I'm a guy whose whole career took place in the Apex, right? I don't really truly feel like I actually fought in the UFC. The UFC is numbered what used to be pay-per-view cards.
Dude, hard honest truth you just gave there, and I always love it when you spit the facts like that. I guess I'm going to throw a slightly different angle on this whole thing, because I agree with both you guys, pretty much everything you just said. I just remember going back to the days where it wasn't every weekend or near every weekend. You also got to talk about what happened. Like, we get to, because we have our own podcast, we get to do it it's for fun. We get to do it. But the general public goes from this event X to the next event Y to the next event Z, and it's like there's no break. You don't even get to absorb whatever awesome thing that happened. It's like, oh well, shit, let's just talk about the next fight. And I feel like that also washes a lot of good memories, a good feeling of the product kind of disappears, because we're just on to the next all the time. Now, I don't know, but well, good talk on that, because really the point of this nice break that we had was bringing back to the BKFC, which I'll say it again for the 1,000th time and I'm not going to stop. I love this product. They do a damn good job. They saw a nice big gap for July 3rd, right before July 4th, made a big event of it. And man, so much good stuff happened throughout the card as usual. But I don't even know where to, you know what? I guess I'll just start with like random violence, because that's what they're about. I guess we'll just start there. A clip of, I posted a comment that just said the face on this guy is why bare knuckle is king, and you guys see.
Our crafted replay presented by Ford Stout. Look, you can see just pass.
The pain, the grimace, the instant action. That's what a lot of fans like to see. Here's one more clip with some awesome violence.
Heart Radio, round number 1. Green trucks. Nolan Black trucks for Ludlow. Hard to the inside, Lex Ludlow. Big red dot right. That is it. Game, set, match. Lex Ludlow. I mean,
bro was so excited he yeeted himself right through the ropes. But yeah, that's basically BKFC in a nutshell. Those two clips is more or less what it's all about. I don't know if you gentlemen got to watch it or checked it out at all. Shout out RIZIN.
I did watch it, and that dude, that the clip that you just showed, cut like the best promo I've ever heard a fighter cut after that fight.
We got it later. Later.
Yeah, but like WWE level, top tier, awesome promo. But it was good, and we talk about this every weekend. It's I know you love it. I'm starting to get bored with the like mismatches with guys just getting, that was the first 20 seconds of the fight, like guys just getting blown out of the water. But I do know that that's what people want. Like people just want to see people hurt, and that's what you get at BKFC.
You're right about that. But there's also like they'll do that for a couple people that I know they're behind a little bit, like they're behind, so they want to generate a couple highlight reels, so they give them these kind of easy out, so to speak. And then like earlier in the card, there was like two guys fighting for $5,000 and their lives. They were just going for it. John, did you get to catch this event at all?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really watch BKFC too much. I see the highlights on social media. I don't really follow it as much as like you guys do. But I feel like BKFC is like the rawest promotion. They're the rawest promotion out there. It is the purest level of street fighting. Like, because to be honest with you, in real street fighting, dudes are throwing hands. That's it. They're running at each other, throwing hands. There's no leg kicks. There's guys out there that are doing that now in street fighting. But I'm saying like the raw bar fight type of fight, that's BKFC. And I feel like that's what draws everybody to it. And these guys go out there and show out, man. Even the girls, man. The girls are brutal. Like, they're so tough. Like, I'm serious. Like, I think the girls would just be whooping dudes' asses in the street if you took those girls out there just randomly and just put them up against dudes. Like, they would smash them. But yeah, I love it. And I also saw that guy, that second highlight. I saw that highlight, and then I did see a lot of like people reposting him because he seems like he's the next guy up. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what he can do. You know what I mean?
Lex Ludlow, his two other fights, he's blown through people like that, and he's already created this bad guy image that he's run. He has a build like old school Arn Anderson from WCW. He plays the bad guy well. He's got his gimmick dialed in, and it's showing, and I'm glad people are paying attention. All right, so to like the thumbnail to the title of this episode, this walkout that I'm about to share, we all know it. Like, even if you didn't even watch the movie, you know it because it's like just in fight culture. It's an American culture. The Apollo Creed Rocky IV entrance is like just known everywhere. And we'll get deeper into this topic, but I'm gonna show the walkout, then I'm gonna show what happened in the fight, the main event. You get it, like full marching band, kids dancing, fireworks. I mean, just full blown with a James Brown impersonator singing. Like the guy, by the way, the guy had good footwork. The impersonator, like he knew how to do it. It was a lot of effort, but not very long later, once the bell rang, look at the timestamp on the bottom real quick. This clip is fast. This is part 1 of part 2. What happened? And that doesn't seem that bad because just like Chris Lido was mentioning there, this has happened before in his previous fight. He got knocked down early, but got up and then just classed the guy, right? Well, that was like 20 seconds into the fight. This is like another 20 seconds later. Brutal. Like, thank God he's fine and he's healthy, so it's not Apollo Creed. But basically, just like Apollo Creed gets fucking destroyed. I mean, he got cracked bad, dude. He was doing the Spider-Man fingers. Like, it was like that.
And so, like, I think if you have a chance to do a badass cool walkout, I think you should do it, right? Like, no, if you lose, you're gonna get made fun of. But I think I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. That's being a prize fighter. Take a chance, do something cool. I talk about this every time we talk about BKFC, though. Like, I'm just so curious how this rule set's going to shake out. It's 2-minute rounds. And you start within punching range. Like, that's where they start you. And that's how, like, he looked like he was trying to feel him out. There's no feel out process in BKFC. It's just hammers from the get-go.
It's back to what John just said a second ago. Yeah. This is like a street fight. You don't get to check distance and stuff like that, which Austin has done. His boxing background up to this point is what got him the world title in this sport, and guys would give him that grace to figure that calibration out. Not this time. John, what you thought from those clips?
Yeah, he knocked him down with the same punch twice. Exact same punch. It almost looked identical, right? The way he landed it. Yeah, man, that was brutal. The walkout is the walkout. You definitely have to do it. If they give you a chance, you have to do it. It goes back to the old Pride days in Japan. Yeah, there's so many guys that had incredible walkouts. What is it? Mayhem Miller had a crazy one back in the day, right? Like bringing out dancers and stuff. That's all good. I love it. It's not going to affect your performance, though. I don't, people try to tie the performance with the walk. It doesn't, you can't be Deontay Wilder and blame the
walk out in 100-pound suit.
The was too heavy, right? Like you can't do that. Like that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm just going to be honest. I've never seen any Rocky movies. Never.
That's what's
in
up.
My life. And I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? In America. So it's like it was the time of the movies, right? I never seen it. The reason why is because when I turned it on, it just didn't draw me in. I've seen clips, obviously, right? But I just think that Sylvester Stallone is just the worst actor, and him portraying a boxer just didn't do it for me. And it just like I never seen it. So like I never even seen Apollo Creed's like their whole storyline because I understand who Apollo Creed is, but that's from just clips online. Right. And people are just like, I can't believe you never seen Rocky. That's the only fight movie I've never watched. Rocky. It's just because Sylvester Stallone with his little like lip thing, like it just makes me laugh. It feels like a comedy, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna back you up in the sense of that the fighting in the original Rockies are rough. Like the fight scenes are rough. The story within the movie is great. The story within the movie is great. The fighting itself is like it's like all old stuff. You kind of just give it a pass for being old and like whatever. But pivoting to this isn't the first time we've seen a guy come out with the Apollo Creed getup and gimmick and then get destroyed. Like I'm blanking who the other people I want to reference now, but this is almost like a sports curse. This is almost Madden cover curse.
Well, and if you watch the movies, when Apollo Creed comes out in the United States get-up, he dies. He gets killed in the ring. So like, it's not a good one. I'm not sure why people bother to do it.
Dude, that's exactly what I thought when I was watching this. I was like, bro, why like Apollo dies? Why are you doing this one? Like, I don't get it. Like with the James Brown impersonator and everything, I'm just like, this is a lot of effort to lead to a bad omen, man. I don't know. But dude, you know what? Never watch the Rocky movies. Don't ever, John. Don't ever watch them.
You're gonna die. That's what it is. You're gonna die.
Spoiler alert. Creed died.
You know what? Skip all of them and just watch Rocky 5. It's the best. No, I'm lying. Don't do that. Don't waste your time. The Creed movies are pretty good though. That's a total.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Okay, those are good. Those are great. Yeah, the other ones, you can skip them. I don't blame you.
It's just Stallone, man. That's all it is. It's just
come on, John.
Because it was action. That action was incredible. But outside of that, I don't think I've ever liked any other Stallone movie. I don't know.
Respect to that. All right, so we're gonna turn a little bit towards UFC 229 predictions and
229.
329. I messed up
Okay,
on the
okay.
bracket.
I was like,
I messed
we're
up
going
on that.
backwards.
Yeah, I'm going
I
backwards.
know
in
that I
time.
can predict those right.
Anyway,
229.
let me fix this. I can do this. I can fix this. Look, it's fixed. It's fixed now. But we'll get back to it. So we're doing predictions not from the past, but in the near future, like a week from now.
Okay.
329. See, the good call. Good call. Appreciate you. This is a foregone conclusion for me and Zach. We did a little teaser of it a couple weeks ago. It's pretty Polynesian biased on this channel on a regular basis. So we're really hoping that maybe John has a different point of view to add to it. But maybe he's on our side. I don't know. Let's go to our guest, Mr. John. Who are you picking for this main event?
Okay, this is my prediction for 329. Conor McGregor is going to pull out of this fight. And Mauricio Hoofy is going to step in because he's the backup and fight Max Holloway. And Hoofy is going to knock out Max Holloway.
Oh,
That's what I predict in this fight. And the reason why I say this is there's some speculation online that Conor is not going to be fighting Max Holloway this weekend. He's not in the embedded. I didn't watch the embedded, but I saw some speculation. He's not in the embedded, which is weird. And number two, his post-fight after party has been canceled. And they're giving out refunds to the tickets. So that doesn't make any sense. So this is just speculation, right? But if they do really fight, I could argue for Conor McGregor. Number one, he's fighting at 170, right? And he's been a 170 for a long time. He's been big for a long time. So he's used to the body, his frame. If you see the pictures, right, he's been walking around at that weight for a long time. So he's used to moving. He definitely has much more power, right? Most likely than Max. Max is blowing up in a short period of time to 170, right? So are we going to see something similar to like Pereira, where Pereira kind of just like got big and he still had the skills, the technical skills, still had the power, but it just didn't have enough against a true heavyweight, right? So maybe Conor is a true welterweight and Max isn't. But if you look at technique, I feel like Max has much more technique. I feel like Max will probably have the speed advantage, right? And maybe even the chin advantage against Conor. But that first round, I feel like it's a toss-up. And that's where Conor could probably win the fight, landing something big, right? And still taking a couple of shots because Conor's chin ain't that bad, right? He can take shots.
Yeah.
And Max is going to hit him. But Max, we've seen what he could do at 155. He can drop guys. He can knock guys out. But can he do that at 170? And Conor's just been walking around at that weight and training at that weight for much longer. But most likely, Max is going to go in there and he's going to style on him. That's what I think is going to happen. He's going to do one of those Calvin Kattar, like, who's the best boxer in the... I feel like he's going to do something like that because this is Conor's moment. This is not actually Max's moment, right? So for Max to take full advantage of it, I feel like he can do that and just style on Conor. Because Conor's going to get tired. It's just going to happen. That's who he is. True. And if you think about his camp, who's running his camp? Definitely not his coaches. It's him. Mm-hmm. So is he pushing himself hard as he can be pushed, right? Who knows? You just don't know. He's sleeping. He's on a Lamborghini yacht, super yacht, sleeping in silk sheets. Where's the struggle? Yeah. Where's the motivation, right? And he's coming off a broken leg as well. I think people are forgetting this. They're not talking about he's coming off a broken leg. Psychologically, is he going to even be able to throw kicks,
right?
With confidence against Max? That's just my spiel.
Dude, so much good stuff right there, and that's why you're that elite analysis that has been a gem of yours for so long. No, knowing the fact that the after party and shit was canceled, that's fucking gold.
I just saw that on Twitter, man. So it's just
I'm like thinking. First off, I've been talking shit on Conor for a long time. I've said Conor's not going to fight, and I also predicted dude's going to pull out. So if he does, there's multiple accounts on X that I'm going to talk shit directly to you. I'm going to tag you and I can't wait. But the point I'm trying to get to is what you said about what is up with his motivation and all that. I'm going to kill this quote. So I'm more paraphrasing it than anything, but paraphrasing Marvin Hagler saying it's hard to wake up at 6 a.m. and run when you got silk pajamas on, something like that. I think Zach knows the quote better than I do.
Sleep
But the
in
fucking
sheets. Yeah.
yeah, when you sleep in, and that's it. You're fucking. That's hard. That's hard as shit to do. It's hard. Zach, what's your thoughts on this fight?
So I mean, John definitely dropped so many gems there. And I want to say, we haven't said it yet this episode. These picks, right? This insight is only for subscribers. So like and subscribe. If you're listening to these and you haven't subscribed, you're stealing these picks from us. But obviously, I'm going Max, right? Max is my GOAT. He's my favorite fighter of all time. I'm going Max. However, what John said about, dude, yeah, Connor's probably cutting down from 200 pounds. He has been this size. Like, Connor is the reason USADA is gone, because they couldn't catch him and make him pee in a cup and couldn't get him down to the right weight size. He's been, and how long ago was that? 2 years? Like, he has been 185, 200 pounds for like 3 or 4 years, all juiced up. The power difference is going to be stark, and that was also Connor's thing to begin with. He was sparking guys out at 145 and 155. Other than Ilya, nobody's been able to put Max away. So I do think that favors Max, but also, like, the fact that this fight is happening at 170 is against a 45er is just so silly. But like, Connor gets what he wants, and I'm still going for Max. And I think everything that John said is correct. I do think Max has the intelligence, has the ability to take Connor deep, and he's definitely going to guess. He conditioning was always his issue, and now he's got this size. Now he's got the questions about his camp. Now he's got all this, but it's going to be a dangerous first round for sure.
All of that is great analysis. I can't help but think about, just general Hawaiian pride in Max, in the sense of it's very much like the old BJ Penn fights where he fought Machida. He was fighting guys out of weight classes. He fought Matt Hughes when he didn't really belong there. Say my name, fucker. I'm gonna show up, and that's what happened, right? Connor said Max's name, and Max is showing up, and that's all I really care about. That's what I find intriguing about this fight. But also, back to the other side, cool McGregor's been bloated, cool, he's been big, but he hasn't been. We've talked about this before. Being in shape, being nice and muscular is great. That's not sport specific fitness. Are you 5-round fighter fitness? Are you max pace 5-round fitness? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. It's hard for me to imagine. Last but not least, I say this all the time. Guys who leave for multiple years of the sport, most recently in my head, I think of Henry Cejudo, and he wasn't even doing dumb shit. He just took some time off. Like, nobody leaves the top of the mountain, takes years off, and comes back to the seat that they left. They come back to a seat much lower. And to think that they're going to be there and be that is just weird to me. We'll see what happens. Obviously, my pick is Max, for clarity and for just to say it out loud. And if you're watching this on X, just repost. Just hit the repost button so other people can see this. On YouTube, like and subscribe, like Zach said. Any other thoughts or anything from this fight? Because I just focused on the main event. Was there anything else that you guys want to throw out before we move on to the next thing?
From the card or from the fight?
Yeah, from the card. For card, whatever fight, whatever you want to say.
It's a cool card. It's an awesome card. My boy Corey Sandhagen is fighting Mario Bautista, right? Obviously, I'm picking him, but I do think that's going to be a harder fight than, obviously, Corey subbed him 6 years ago, the last time they fought. But I do think that's going to be an entertaining, like, good, fun fight for everybody.
That's what's up. Good call. John, any final thoughts before we move backwards and forwards into the next topic?
Max is fighting in his 3rd weight class, which is incredible. And so is Robert Whittaker. He's fighting at 205. But his is kind of crazy because he went from 170, 15 pounds to 185.
Yeah.
15 more pounds to 15 more, 20 pounds to 205.
Yeah.
I think people are getting lost in that, right? Like, that's something incredible to watch. And if he wins, man, I just think he's just kind of small, but skill wise, he could beat a lot of guys in that top 15 just off skill and speed. But
and I think he's got a good matchup for this fight.
Not
Nikita Krylov is very good, but Nikita fought my coach in the UFC. Like he's been
Right.
in the UFC for like 20 years almost.
It feels like, yeah, this is a long time.
Yeah,
Oh,
where's the pension for that? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Oh,
Let's
right
get Nikita.
on.
But Nikita's still dangerous. He's still good.
Right. He just
That's
knocked
the
out
thing.
Bukowskis. Just knocked
Yeah.
out Modestus Bukowskis.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out to
Good.
Robert Whitaker, man, just doing incredible things.
Yeah, dude. Those are the biggest weight gaps to jump. Good for him. Good luck to him. I'm for it. All for that. All right. So I'm going to tie this because we talked about the UFC, we talked about BKFC, and I'm going to do a smush mash, a little rerun back to a little bit of this a veteran, a known veteran, someone who a lot of people like and respect. Joe Lozon getting signed for BKFC at 42 years of age. Some people talking shit, some people liking it. From what I've seen from one of his interviews, he's more, I guess, inclined because his event will be at the Boston Red Sox stadium.
Oh,
So like that was his like big, like, all right, like I gotta fight in that stadium, that'd be dope as hell. Like, why not? And you know, as a guy advancing in the numbers of the years of my life, like I'm kind of the idea, like, fuck it, why not? Like, while you still can, why not? Like, he's not like necessarily needs to win a world title, but he goes out on fights or whatever. Other people dogging and saying, oh, it sucks to see another old broke fight. I don't know if he's broke. What are you in fucking Joe's bank account? Get out of here with your weird shit. Like talking shit on that angle. Like, I don't know, man. I'm for it. Like, anybody wants to keep fighting or anybody wants to fight, like, get an opportunity and fight. Like, it's hard. Like, why not? I don't know. What you think?
It always depends. I'm in the same boat. Like, dudes want to fight, let them fight. But it's if they have to fight, right? Does he have to fight? And it just depends on the product that he puts out. Arlovsky just won the belt at 48 years old, right? For like almost goddamn 50, and he beat Ben Rothwell, won the title, is the BKFC heavyweight champion. And this like Fenway Park thing, I think I told you when they announced it, like, I'm trying to get on that card. Like, I want to fight at Fenway Park. That's right. Badass and so awesome. Like, of course, any sports fan, any Red Sox fan is going to want to do that. And if he has the opportunity to, more power to him. It's
Absolutely.
Just like, don't make us feel bad. Like, if you go out there and you're not prepared to fight and you're not in shape and you can't take a hit, like, then after the fact, we all get to feel bad. Like, oh, who let Joe Lozon do this? You know?
Right. This kind of, some people are like, oh, they did this with Frankie Edgar, but then they pulled out with him. I was like, dude, I think Frankie Edgar failed a medical. That's a totally different fucking story, dude. Like,
that should make you feel better. Because
Yeah.
they wanted him on wherever he's from, Jersey card or something. And he was selling all these tickets and all this stuff. And then the doctor's like, no, this dude can't fight. So they pulled him from the card, and he got mad. Everyone else got mad.
Yeah, weird stuff. John, what's your thought?
I didn't know that was the reason. I just saw online that, you know, they were blaming the promotion, like they didn't want to pay Frankie Edgar or something like that. So I didn't know that he failed the medical, but it seems like that gets lost with some people, that they're like, oh, we don't believe the doctors, right? These guys are when the doctors are helping out and like trying to protect the fighters, you get mad.
Yeah. When you're in the doctor's office crying for your ear infection, I want to be like, don't believe him. Don't believe him. What are you worried about? Don't believe him. Yeah. No, of course. That's the whole point of having a doctor, is you trust their fucking expertise. All right, cool. Well, moving on from that, I just thought it was a cool little thing that he's, you know, gets to do and whatnot. But enough of the nice and positive stuff. We've been way too positive this episode so far. It's time to talk some shit. Nah, maybe just me. You guys are not so much. But Top Rank was the other event going on this past weekend. It was a really good card. Filled in the lack of fight on the 4th of July itself. Abdullah Mason going against Mr. Bell. I forget Mr. Bell's first name right now. But Shushu Carrington, against Palacios. Like it was a good card. It was, I don't know, maybe it was just because there was less fights that I was just like, oh, sweet, something to watch. But it was entertaining nonetheless. And I'm gonna skip like the good parts, I guess, of the fighting, and I'm gonna get straight into the part. And the part is, all right, you know, we watch thousands of fights all the time, and these refs, I often defend them. I'm a ref defender and apologist. That shit's hard, folks. It's a hard ass job. You have people's lives on the line. You have a bunch of rules you gotta like regulate, and the best athletes on the world are moving like lightning right in front of your face, and you gotta make split. You can't be wishy-washy either. Whatever you decide, that's what it is. Got to be just as fast as they're deciding while they're fighting. So I know it's a hard job, but it feels really uncomfortable when these weird coincidences happen in the right circumstances for the money. And what I mean by that is for the A-side fighters, for the promotion's sake. A lot of times these benefit of the doubt situations feed that way. And I got 2 clips of this. The first clip is going to show how hard this is to see in real time, in real life. Also pay attention to the Palacios, his reaction right at the end of this short clip.
You know, booing them are actually just going to continue.
Oh, that clipped him on the head, and down goes Carrington. They're not going to call that a knockdown.
That was close. Shushu Carrington pointing to the back of the head. Certainly
That was fast. It was hard to see what was really going on. The ref was on the other side. We had the better view with the camera, and even that was still kind of fast. But you could see Palacios like, come on, bro. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, count that. That was a real knockdown. And if you guys don't know, Shushu Carrington, Bruce Carrington, was the A side of this equation. He is the promotional invested fighter. So there's that. And then here, now we'll hear some commentary, but here's more views, more POVs of this in slow down so we can see it. And then I want to, you know, you fight-minded individuals, I want to get your take on what happened here. Was it a legit call by the ref, or was he saving ass, you know?
Was it a knockdown or was it not? Chris, we'll let you make the call.
Well, he went down from the punch. The punch was an illegal shot to the back of the head, but that was not a slip. Shushu Carrington went down from that right hand.
I don't think it was an illegal shot because Carrington turned his head, but I think that's borderline. That should have been a knockdown, guys. That should have been a knockdown.
Well, I think
2 divergent opinions. We got the guy on the mic versus the former world champion Sergio Mora. Diverging opinions. So, Zach, I'm gonna lead to you first. Like, you know, what's your
Oh, I don't really know what the argument is. That's a 100% knockdown. That is nothing but a knockdown. If you want to argue, oh well, it came from an illegal punch. Well, that's a different argument. That's a different argument. Take a point. It's still a knockdown. Like, that's ridiculous. And you know, for the people that don't know, if you're just an MMA fan and you're watching, it's not just like for his stats. That becomes a 10-8 round in boxing. If you get that, if you record that knockdown, if the ref calls it a knockdown, that's now a 10-8 round. And so it's like a real big deal if the ref doesn't award you a knockdown.
big deal, dude? John, what's your thoughts what would you, if you were the ref, what would you have called?
That's a 1,000% knockdown. And that's not even an illegal shot. The dude was ducking and he punched him. When he threw the punch, it's already thrown. And then he ducked and then he landed, right? So it is 1,000% a knockdown. And it's sad, man. Fighting is the greatest sport in the world, but it is the most corrupt. It is the most corrupt. And
it is.
It's just sad to see this stuff. It's becoming more apparent as the weeks go by, right? Every week we see something.
Stealing the words from my mouth, John.
It's insane to see that, like, deliberately. And then the only people that can do anything about it is the commission, and they don't do nothing.
They don't do shit.
They don't do shit.
Here's the analogy I always have to make, because you're 100% right. Being a ref is an insanely hard job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, but like, so is being a pilot. Like being a pilot's a hard job. I still want his ass to land the plane. Like he doesn't just get to crash that plane and we go, guys, it's hard. It's hard landing planes. Should you you try and land it? It's hard. No, dude, you're the pilot. Yes, it's a hard job. Land the plane. You know, same thing with the ref.
Right onto that. Shout out to Katrina in her comments. Yeah, it is a little bit easier for us after the fact with the replays and stuff, but watching it live, I was like, what the hell is this? And you know, Harvey Dock is a good ref. You know what's crazy? Harvey Dock was reffing at the Liberty Brawl, and the very next day he was a couple states over here at this event, which maybe is its own thing. Like fight brain fatigue, performance fatigue. Like
the UFC doesn't let you do that anymore. Just so people know, and they did because of Herb Dean, right? It's all coming full circle now. Herb Dean was reffing at one championship and had a Herb Dean call at the UFC the next weekend or the next day, and the UFC said no more. You cannot fly from Thailand to Vegas and ref, and it hasn't improved Herb, but like the UFC doesn't let it happen. Maybe top rank shouldn't.
Fair enough. Yeah, dude, it's okay. That's just one, and that's just one. Like in the moment, like okay, bad angle, shit's flying. All right, like let's throw that it's not just convenient because it's for the A side. Let me take my conspiracy theorist and anger level down and just go, okay, cool, whatever. Now that was the co-main event. We get up to the main event, and it was a very competitive fight with a guy with 2 weeks notice, I believe. Mr. Bell only had 2 weeks notice. It was a good fight. Here's some of the good fighting that was happening that probably shouldn't have been happening, but here we go.
Back with the check hook.
And now they're letting their hands go a little bit here at the end of the round.
Good body shot there by Bell.
Now, Bell was carrying more than what he was expected through the early parts of the fight. Towards the later part of the fight, he started losing gas. Mason started taking over, but it was still a pretty close fight. Now, when I play this clip, it's going to show the ringside unofficial scorecard, but you're going to see how close one of the commentators thought it was. Whether it was not that on the official cards, I've seen the official cards that were a little bit more juice, but that's a whole nother discussion, and I don't have another 2 hours to talk about that. But here is the weird part. This is the weird part. Okay, here we go. Ref just being weird.
You're up by a point. Another left on the temple, and he goes down. Will they call that a knockdown?
That should be a knockdown, guys.
And they're stopping the fight. They're stopping it. Oh my word!
You cannot stop.
Cannot stop it. But guess what?
But guess what? They're gonna stop it and fuck you over anyway. The commentators like, you can't stop it. Like they can't even really vibe with the bullshit that they're seeing right in front of their face. And I'm just like, dude, that's two A-side guys getting the way too big of a benefit of the doubt and the clearance to just win the fight. Like let's not even try to get to the scorecards. Let's just do the Rico. That's what I'm gonna call it now. We're doing it the Rico. We're gonna do the Rico to this guy, and it just that one sucks. I don't have any other words, bro. That one just sucks.
Well, and so that's the big thing too. And you know, if you're watching, listening, like let me know, because I literally can't think of a single time. Let me know of a bad stoppage or a bad decision against the A side in boxing, right? When have you ever seen the A side fighter waved off after the round like Rico was? I truly can't even think of a single time or think of a single bad referee's decision. You know, what's his name? Roy Jones Jr. in the Olympics, right? In amateur boxing in Korea, maybe. I don't know. Like literally, I can't think of it. That's the last one I can think of 40 years ago.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. At the amateur level, they don't have the promotional money yet. They have money behind them. They still have money behind them, but not the same level, not the same support systems going in. Yeah, it's awkward and weird. John, your thoughts on that knockdown KO? KO, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, it's sad to see, man, because that guy that came in on 2 weeks' notice, the challenger, he was on his way to the biggest win of his career, man. Like he took that away from him. And that's why I say, like, you know, going back to the co-main event, that should be reviewed on replay with the commission and overturned. That has to be, right? Just like this main event, this decision by the ref, it needs to be looked into, right, by the commission. Like that's the only way to fix all this stuff. But you know, I'm beating up a bag of nothing because the commission, they don't listen to anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
and glad we're talking about calling this out because just the other week we talked about on the Zuffa card, the guy got blasted on the ground. It was an illegal shot. We're like, whatever's. And I just want to put this in people's minds, okay, that it has been officially appealed. The De Los Santos has appealed the Valentine because look, he's on the ground getting blasted. I think we can all see that. And at the time, Jeff Mullen was like, oh, it just grazed his chin. It was unconsequential to the fight. This is the most clear and obvious evidence you will ever have with an official appeal. I want everybody to just bookmark this and see where this goes. Because if nothing happens with this, ain't shit ever. Like, I don't even want to make it like political or social commentary, but I will if I have to. And it's like, oh, well, tell the cops to investigate the cops. Sorry, Zach. But like you know what I mean? Like it's
we investigate ourselves. We found no wrongdoing.
It makes no sense. They're not gonna call nobody out. Nothing's gonna happen.
You got a board up in the office and it's your picture. Like I'll get him.
One of these days.
Well, dude, this is it's a joke. It's a joke that me and Rob say it. It's a saying in boxing, right? That the mob never stopped running boxing. They just call themselves the commission now, right? That's a joke. That's funny because it's true. Like that's like who can you complain to about the commission? There's no one above the commission.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Shout out Katrina for your comments. Sometimes one needs to make political and social comments. Thank you. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I need to shut up.
It's just getting bad in boxing. I don't know why. Like I don't know why it's getting so bad in boxing. It probably has to do with Poly Market or something like that. Like that's probably the answer. But I don't know why it's getting so. It's always been bad, but it's getting worse.
I don't know if it's like because we have more access to see it all the time now. Like if something stupid was to happen, only a small portion of us in the 2000s would have seen it. Now it's like, well, something stupid happened, and now we just shared it to 100 people. Those people would share, you know what I mean? Like, there's that too. Maybe it's always been bad. I don't know. All right, one more thing in the realm of boxing, which I think is really important because, well, he was the 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. His name, Alexander Usyk, and he's walking away from the game, and he's doing it in a very unique way that I think there's a set of breadcrumbs here that we need to follow. In his own words, attention, important update. I am vacating my unified WBA, IBF, WBC heavyweight world titles ahead of stepping into the ring for my final fight. This guy had already had one of his titles, I think it was the IBF, taken away from him for bullshit. That's why he was a 2-time undisputed. He never lost, just bureaucracy and bullshit. So the alphabet gang of boxing ruined that. But before his final fight, he doesn't need to, but he's just dropping those belts, saying, thank you, no thank you. I don't need it, bro. I'm bigger than you. I'm going to have my own fight the way I want to because, he has his own ambitions, right? He's literally said, I would like to fight John Jones or Deontay Wilder. Either or sounds nice to me. You know who I'm leaning for. I wanted to see you fight John Jones because he fought Rico Verhoeven. Like, you're fighting the best of everybody. What a great way to go out on your career if it's not for the belts. But Deontay's solid second place for me. And the further part of the story, according to BBC Sport, is lots of words here. I won't bore you with all the reading, but basically they're in discussions, deep discussions with Zuffa Boxing to be the promoter for the fight between Usyk and Wilder. Why? People are like, oh, I was one of them. I was like, is Deontay signed with Zuffa and I missed this? I know Usyk's not. Like, what the hell's going on here? They're just looking for a promoter to cover the event. They just want a promoter for the event. It's not them signing either which way or whatever. But this goes towards the leverage, towards the thing that Zuffa them been trying to do. They've been trying to attack the belts, trying to kill the belts, or trying to mute the belts, whatever words you want to use. And for them to get Usyk on his final rodeo when he's just dumping the belts off, and then maybe his next fight is promoted to Zuffa, bro, this is big time, like levers of power being moved right before our eyes. And I'm kind of overwhelmed with this, dude. I'm gonna press this to John first. What you got?
I just think like people are like, oh, Zuffa's gonna enter boxing and they're gonna use that UFC model, and I don't think that's not what they're doing. It seems like from someone that's outside looking in, I feel like they've got coffers of money, and they're just gonna spend as much money as they can to get rid of those belts, and just make those belts obsolete, not have no value, and then they will UFC model the boxing. That's what I think. That's what I'm just saying. I think that's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? They're gonna have the biggest stars because Zuffa. How long have they been around? A year?
About
this is their first year.
Yeah, first year, right? In their first year, they have the biggest. They have the world heavyweight champion, undisputed, wanting to fight for them in the first year, right? And then they're like, "Hey, all the belts that I've just earned, I don't need those anymore." Because I think all of those belts, you have to pay a fee, right? Every year to keep them, right? Which makes no sense. I don't understand. What the hell? Commissions again, right? The mafia. You know, they need the money, right? They need to pay for their townhouses and stuff. Yeah, so Usyk fighting John Jones or Deontay Wilder. Obviously, you want to see John Jones because that's the bigger name. And I think John Jones, he'll come back for a boxing match, right? It's Conor McGregor all over again, right? And Dana White's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna, you know how Dana White loves to change up every time. He's the biggest he's a hypocrite of all time, right? Every week he says something different that goes against what he said the last week, right? Like Zuffa, we don't want no UFC fighters fighting, doing boxing and crossing over until like the right person comes along with the right matchup, right? And this is gonna be the right matchup. Why do you think John Jones has been quiet recently? Why do you think he just kind of drops gems of like, but never talks about actually fighting MMA again?
I only can wish.
I think it's gonna happen by the end of the year.
I hope that would be great. I think that'd be great for all the sports. Like every sport wins. MMA wins with notoriety. For John going into boxing wins by probably getting an easy win in boxing. I'm sorry, I'd pick Usyk in that fight. Like,
and imagine how many people want to see John Jones get beat out.
Everybody,
bad.
Everybody except his family. Maybe them too. Like, I don't know. Zach, what are you reading between the lines on this?
Dude, so for people that aren't like, this is so huge. This is so massive. If you told me a year ago that we were going to be talking about the lineal undisputed heavyweight champion dropping all his belts to go win a Zuffa heavyweight title, I would have told you like, no, like that's never going to happen. Like, what are you talking about? Who would do that? And like the boxing like purist in me like hates this, hates that Zuffa has been able to come in and just run shop. Just because they have the money. But like after the conversation that we just had, after all the conversation we just had about how screwed up everything is, maybe this is good for boxing. Maybe this is what it needs. Throw all these stupid old belts away. I hate that there's 5 heavyweight championship belts anyway. Let's just have one championship belt. I guess it's going to be Zuffa, right? I hope Usyk's a good guy. He's like a quality human being. So I hope he's making $500 million, right? And making tons of money and unify the belt, unify the belt. The only thing, and I've said this before, right? This is from Josh Barnett. This is a Josh Barnett quote, that when you're the champion of the world, you only have one job, to make sure whoever you lose to is the baddest man on the planet. Like that's your job as the champion, which is not happening, right? It's not going to happen. Like if Deontay Wilder catches him and knocks him out, and now Deontay Wilder, do we get the 4P of him fighting Tyson Fury? Like what do we do? What do we do? But I do think this is very cool, and it's historic. Like, does does the WBA, WBC, all that just go away? If like the casual fan is going to go like, no, that's not the heavyweight champion. Itama becomes the WBA champion, but now we have a Zuffa champion and 4 other heavyweight champions. Like, it's going to be silly.
It's been scattered to the wind. One guy got one of the belts already. It's hard to keep up, but I know one guy got one of the belts already. There's a fight scheduled for one of the other belts. It's got scattered into. It's like Dragon Balls. They're just scattered into the all over the earth.
We talked about it last week, but you got Fury and AJ doing tune-up fights to fight each other for no belt. Like, it's just let Zuffa take over. Zuffa can be the boss. I don't care. My final thing in this, it was a few years ago. The Alphabet Gang, all 4 of them, the WBO, WBA, IBF, and WBC, were in a discussion for like I don't know how long, but they were in a long-term discussion with each other on. To me, it would have been the smart thing to stop being greedy and make those belts mean something. They were gonna have an agreement which fell apart, but this agreement would have been dope for boxing, that all the champions, any champion holding any belt, would have to fight the other champion of the other belt. So forcing undisputeds to happen more quickly, and so that there is one champion, like you were just talking about. Like, we can have 4 belts, but this all converges back to one spot. And and then they all got greedy. Their fees that John was just talking about, they all got butthurt about their fees and everything. And so now they priced themselves out of the game. And now there's a gap in this race, and Zuffa can place themselves right in there. And that's all I can really say about that.
Dude, they're creating you know how there's this whole, I don't know if you guys been following the lawsuits against the UFC. Have you been following Caden Johnson's Instagram? Have you been watching his videos? Yeah, you should, because it's Johnson versus the UFC, right? So he kind of breaks down what's happening in court, like recently in the last week or 2, right? So go check that out if you haven't, because it's very interesting to see what's happening. But you know how like everybody was accusing the UFC of a monopoly on MMA, right? I feel like whoever's like WWE, UFC, now Zuffa, they're kind of monopolizing combat sports in general. It looks like
they're trying to.
They're trying to, and they got the money and they got the backing, and they're utilizing each other's ecosystems to become this monster, this uncontrollable monster in combat sports. It's incredible to watch, but at the same time, it's kind of concerning, let's say, I think for the fighters, because it might not benefit the fighters. I mean, as a whole, like as the fighting community, right? Like from the lowest tier to the highest tier. It's just concerning to me.
Yeah,
man.
And you like made a funny joke about boxing earlier, but you're 100% right. Usyk is going to make a grip of money, right? Whoever he fights is going to make a grip of money. If what I was saying like comes true and Zuffa becomes the head of boxing, that's the reason boxing is what it is now, pay-wise, is because of those alphabet gangs. Because the WBO and the WBA, like, you have to lobby. Who's going to pay me more? Who am I going to get more for? We have kind of an open market in boxing, right? If Zuffa has their way and is successful, you're 100% right. It's going to be just the UFC with puffy big gloves on now.
That's it. And I don't even want to be a history nerd, but I'm going to be for a second. There's a reason why monopoly laws in America exist. U.S. Steel. Okay. Like, learn your history. It's never good for the workers. It's never good for the employees. Once that takes form, takes shape. And to Katrina's point, one reason I'm all for BKFC, MVP, and others, we need options. Yeah. So shout out to all the Karate Combats, to the Dirty Boxings of the world, to the BKBs and everybody else in between. Yeah, more options, more opportunities for fighting, which is a pretty nice segue for the Resistance. That's what I'm just making that up now, just calling them the Resistance. RIZIN, Japan. Japan don't play by nobody's rules except Japan's rules. The most beautiful thing about Japanese culture is they don't give a shit about your guys' stuff. It's all about their stuff and how they want it to be, and I love it. Nobuyuki Sakakibara coming out with some statements that I know you guys, this is kind of a deep dive This is more for the deep fighting nerds, but I think it's important and should be talked about. So we'll close up our final rodeo on this topic. Here we go. We'll start with this. This is an 8-part segment, but I'm only taking 4 pieces out of the 8. Cry about it. Our roster has gotten much deeper. There are still many rough diamonds in Japan who would shine if they are polished. If we polish them, we need to keep debuting these fighters, polishing them properly, and turning them into the stars who can grab everyone's hearts. Part 2. If a fighter truly wants to go somewhere and sees it as a chance to leap forward, we won't stop them. But with one, what exactly are they going there to pursue? I'm not sure that message is reaching either fighters or fans. Subtle but very clear shot at one championship. He don't like them doing MMA in Japan. He's not feeling it. Part 3. UFC usually feels like a mass-produced product. They keep offering the same thing over and over with very little production. We're more like I don't know what that is. Hote culture. I don't know what that is, dude. Thank you for that. We want to keep leveling up the presentation and make it work as live entertainment, which Pride has always been way more entertaining, and the subsequent children from Prides. If it continues, MMA will be absorbed by America. I hate the idea of it becoming nothing more than content made for Americans to enjoy. Japan has to keep polishing an identity that is different from the UFC. Nobuyuki coming in, fucking throwing bombs, saying stuff we've been saying the UFC is a little sterile and boring, saying one championship. What the hell is even going on there? And I don't want to be anything like it. And he's carrying RIZIN has blossomed into its own beautiful monster. It looks just like its granddad, Pride, and just awesome. It's awesome. And I like that there is another option with a different rule set, a superior rule set, and a promoter who really gives a shit and is not playing. And he's just said what we just said. We're talking about the impending monopoly, the structure of it looking like it could be, and he sees it too. This guy has been promoting fights for like 30 fucking years. He knows what he's talking about. And I think it says a lot that he's saying the same things we're saying. And I'm going to throw this a little bit, John. I know you covered one championship in deep detail in years past. I don't know about recent times. You haven't really been, but that's not the point. The point is that I know you've seen the changes in one. We've seen the changes in one. And maybe what's your thoughts about Nobuyuki's comments about all of it, but specifically that part?
All right. So from going to all the major promotions, right? Attending their promotions as a spectator and, you know, with media and stuff like that, RIZIN has the best show, entertainment value, by far. There's nobody even close, right? UFC might have the best fighters, and one is not even an MMA promotion. They barely have an MMA divisions, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they're not even in competition. One is a kickboxing Muay Thai promotion now. Like, yeah, they have MMA fights, but who could you name any of their champions really outside of maybe Anatoly, who just retired?
Yeah, it's not even.
Yeah, he's gone now, right? So like, they're not even a competition, right? Like, RIZIN does have kickboxing matches, but that's not their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is MMA. So I don't even think they're competing with each other. And it's obvious why the fighters are fighting for one championship. They're giving these kickboxers and Muay Thai fighters the most money out of any promotion. And those $50,000 bonuses that you can earn, that changes their life, right?
Right.
Even 50,000, right? It changes their life. Think about a Muay Thai fighter who's been fighting Muay Thai since they're 5 years old and they're 18 now. And then they go fight for one and they get one bonus. And then that probably one bonus is worth triple or quadruple or whatever amount of times of their whole earnings through their whole lifetime, which is insane, right? In Japan too. So I don't really see that as a competition. I feel like they could always coexist. And the RIZIN CEO, he makes some good points, and he should just run with that. He should just run with, like, you guys are RIZIN is better entertainment. You can, you know, grow your status with RIZIN just like you could grow your status with UFC and one and UFC one and the rest of the MMA is a different category. I don't even think it's the same thing. yeah, so some of the stuff he's saying I agree with, but then some of the stuff, it doesn't mean anything. He's just kind of making headlines, which, that's MMA, right?
That's how you get people to talk about it across the sea on a random podcast. But I think you're right. I think it's a little bit of him being Chatri coming in Nobuyuki's backyard, right? It was okay when one was doing their thing over there. Do your thing over there. But now you're bringing your show over here, and nah, I'm not gonna say something. I maybe that's just me, my petty mindset, but I'm projecting that onto him. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know. Zach, your thoughts on this?
It's funny because I never was a RIZIN guy. I didn't never even watch RIZIN until I did this show with you for like almost a year now, and you kept bringing it up every single week. You kept creating clips, and John's right. It's the best MMA show there is. It truly, it is the most entertaining, like violent and skillful. Like I complained about BKFC's lack of skill. It is super hyper violent, but it's also hyper skilled dudes fighting. I love RIZIN, and I kind of like hearing from the promoter here, like being honest about what they want to do, and like, I'm sure it was translated. I'm sure that's a translation from Japanese to English, but like,
right.
Anytime you hear Don Davis doesn't have the PFL anymore, but anytime you hear Don Davis or Dana White talk, and you're like, dude, you're just lying. Like you're not even saying you just spoke a lot and didn't say anything. You just told us how great. No, we're actually the best in the world. Power Slap has more views in the Super Bowl. Like all this stuff, and you go, cool. That's not true, dude. We know that's not true. Like, right. So, like, I like hearing a little bit of being candid, saying what they're trying to do. Right? They're trying to build stars. They think they have some, and they're trying to build some, and they put on a great product. And is he the guy that does the drums? That does the drums pre-show?
He does some drums sometimes.
When they do their big show.
The big show.
Like this dude's badass. I like this guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he gets into full thing, just shirtless in the Mawashi, hitting the taikos. Yeah, he's in it. What can I say? I love that RIZIN has grown up to be its bloodline, right? Like everybody holds on to the memory of Pride. I still do. Like that, Pride will always be Pride. But because of the scandal, because of the cultural shift, it went downhill for a while. And RIZIN is finally at a point where like it's its own good product. It doesn't even need to be compared. It just needs to be, I guess, mentioned just because of the bloodline and heritage, so to speak. But man, I hope good things for RIZIN. I hope that they keep mixing it up. I hope more fans see it and see how good that rule set is. That oddly, this sentence makes sense after 30 years of data. You can stomp and kick people on the ground in a controlled environment. It's totally fine. Like nothing bad happens. But yeah, that's it. All right.
One before we switch the topic, one thing about RIZIN that I respect a lot is they're not catering their presentation to the English speaking audience. You notice that one does it, all of their commentary, their ring announcers, all in English, right? Mm-hmm. Other promotions around the world, they do the exact same thing. They do it in English, right? But RIZIN, everything's in Japanese. The ring announcers, it just makes it more authentic, right? And I think a lot of people, that's why they're drawn to the Japanese promotions, is because they stay more authentic, right? And yeah, there's so many young MMA fighters, like good ones that nobody really knows about, that is fighting for RIZIN, because I usually catch most of their shows, and they're gonna tear it up, and eventually they'll go to the UFC as well, right? It's not like the promotion is blocking guys from getting signed by the UFC, as we've seen with like Kyle Sakura and what is it, Horiguchi, right? But that's one thing I think it is just more authentic, and I love it like that. You know what I mean? I wish other promotions around the world would stay the same as well, not just try to cater to the English speaking audience.
Dude, good call out right there, and shout out Mike Chavello for being like the Australian English speaking voice to carry it for the rest of us. We don't understand the rest.
The international stream is obviously English, right?
No, but like you said, the whole thing.
Ring announcer,
all of it, right? Top to bottom. Good stuff. No, great call there. All right, real quick, we're going to look at some random clips that's on the internet, and we'll just give. I don't even know how to run this rating thing anymore. Like, we started it, it's kind of had structure. Now it's just a free for all. This one is just like, I've never seen this technique before, but it worked. I guess I'm just gonna show it, and then we'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, like how awesome it is. Here we go.
Jab, work off your jab, Gaza. Work off that jab.
So throw the right and then kneel, just stay good, like go all the way down and kneel. I've never seen that. That's pretty good.
So that just duck out of the way. One thing I do want to say about every single knockout, every single jiu-jitsu choke that you see, there's always people trying to do too much, right? Like, I'm sure it is a thing that sometimes when you get knocked out, like, they could choke on their tongue, right? That's why he's trying to roll the guy to his side. He could also have a broken neck. Like, don't stop trying to roll people over when you knock them out. And in jiu-jitsu, when you choke people out, stop lifting their legs up. It doesn't send the blood back to their head, right? This is all made up stuff from like 1950. Like, don't do any of that. Just let them go and let the ref and the doctors handle it.
All right. The drop to a knee overhand right, John. What do you rate that?
Can we see that again? Let's do the replay.
One more time.
Jab, work off your jab, Gaza. Work off that jab.
Yeah, that's nasty, man. Am I black?
You are not
frozen
moving.
on ours.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Frozen.
Here.
Why am I frozen? But you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me remove you and bring you back. Let me see what happens. And now you're black.
Now you're
can
black.
You hear?
Now I'm
John.
black.
Yeah, now you are. But I don't know what's happening there. But we still appreciate your voice. All right. Gonna go to this one. Is it dirty or clean? All right, this is a close one. Dirty or clean? All right, we're gonna play one more time for John. So, dirty or clean, John? Dirty or clean?
That's clean. That's clean. Hey, you do not. If your mouthpiece falls out, I'm just saying this. I'm not a fighter. I've never been competing. I never fought inside of a cage. But when your mouthpiece flies out, you do not go and grab your mouthpiece. That's just. I guess that's something you would know as a fighter. And you're open season, right? Like, if you're gonna chase after something, I don't know. I think it's clean. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm for it. Zach, dirty or clean?
So here's the thing. John is completely correct. He is completely correct. It is clean. It's not against the rules in any manner, right? I always think the person at fault here is the girl whose mouthpiece fell out and reaches over to pick it up like an idiot. At the very least, back up, put your hands up, and ask the ref to put it back in your mouth. I always think of, and people can clown me for this, I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. But I always think of the old Troy movie with Brad Pitt as Achilles, right? Where Hector trips over the rock and he lets him back up. He says, "Get back up. I'm not going to let a rock steal my honor," right? That's how I want to win fights. That's how I want the clip to be of me head kicking you clean and you falling off and me walking over into the sunset. I don't want it to be on fully hydrated. Us discussing if it was dirty or not. Right? That's what I want for myself.
All right, fair enough. And this one is just gonna be like, I don't even know what category to put this in. We'll just rate this like, this is awesome or stupid. And here we go. This one was wild. This one went all over the internet. This is our final one.
Güey, cálmese a la verga, puto. Hey. Hey, güey, cálmese a la verga.
No, déjalo, no le pegues, déjalo.
Hey, güey, cálmese. Hey, güey, no le pegues, güey.
Déjalo, no le pegues.
No le pegues, güey. Van a llamar a la policía a los güeros si no se calman, hijos de la verga,
Acá estos güeyes que mandó
andan agarrándose a vergas, calucha, estos vatos, güey.
Yo, there's so much going on in that one, right? There's the dude across the street filming.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's the dude with the no shirt. Looks like he's trained. He's trained, right? The dude with the no shirt, right?
Yeah.
He looked like he looked like he's trained. And then they're falling off the roof on two different sides and continuing to fight. That is one of the best clips I've seen all year. I love it. That's called roof fighting championships. Like, that's something new that needs to happen, right?
You know how much, like, obviously getting into a fight takes a little bit of balls, but like I think a lot of people have experienced it. I've never fought on a roof. I never want to fight on the roof. Like, if you want to fight me on the roof, I'll get off the roof. You can fight me on the ground. Like, I don't want to fight on the roof, dude. That's crazy.
Well, I need to know, were they all roofers working and then started squabbling, or is like one of them the guy paying? Like, I just need to know how this. I need the background. I need the lore here. Like, there's so much going on. Like, definitely don't get it if you're paying to have your roof redone. Definitely don't get in a fight with the roofers. Like that, they're gonna mess that thing up, and you're gonna have a lot more problems than whatever you're mad about.
That's an expensive way to go. All right. So to Katrina's comment here, and to what they were supposedly saying is even funny. On the internet, it says this. My Spanish not good enough to catch it, but basically they were saying, stop fighting before the white people call the police. Like, and so like how they chilled down, like they went from throwing each other off the roof to like, all right. And just, it kind of makes it funny if that's what was being said. And I don't know, man. I've never seen something go for so crazy.
What do you do? What are you doing if you're at X or if you're at work and you like get on X and that's your roof? Like you're like, what is that my house? Dudes flying off your roof, fighting each other.
Maybe they were fighting for the contract, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Two different roofing companies. They're like, hey, let's get at it. Like,
dude.
The homeowner is like, hey, let's see who really wants this contract.
Right.
You know? But yeah, like that's a huge thing. Like ICE could come in, that was a big issue, right? For a while, like ICE coming through and swooping people up. So yeah, that's insane, man. Like it just shows you how rough life is, right? Where there's roofers fighting each other for a job. You know what I mean? On the roof, literally.
Yeah. I don't even know what could have possibly been said to be worth getting fucking thrown off the roof and like speared off the roof.
I on the side, I have a side gig. I teach self-defense classes, right? I'm teaching self-defense to this 19-year-old girl going to Ole Miss right now. The number one thing, the first thing that we talk about, right, is not a move. It's not anything like that. Is to know your surroundings. Like know your surroundings, a little bit of situational awareness.
Right.
I don't care what beef you have. I don't care how much I hate Rob. I don't care what do I think I got. I'm not saying it while we're standing on a roof. I'm gonna get down, I'm gonna climb down, and then I'm gonna talk shit to him.
I know Mick Foley, if he sees this clip, he's looking at that going, hey, getting launched off the top of something. I've been there. All right. So we're gonna close up random final thoughts. Folks, if you've been with us so far, thank you. Appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're on X, hit the repost button so other people can see this. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, helps a lot. Appreciate it. So the clip I have for us to go on our final way is to bring up I feel like we can put anything up and it somehow connects back to some ties that we have, especially with John. We can connect with everybody. But Diego Brandao, Ultimate Fighter winner from a long time ago, season 14, I believe, 39 years old, kind of the opposite story of a lot of former UFC fighters, like especially Brazilian UFC fighters who have an okay run, they get released. And I hate to say this, but the typical route is they go through the Russian pipeline and they get murdered. And that's, the most recent one is like Cowboy Oliveira. He's kind of taking a lot of other guys do it. That's just like, unfortunately, what ends up happening. You sell your name and you get beat up by Russians. But there's a guy, and his name is Diego Brandao, and he's gone blonde. So the blonde Brunson effect, the other fighters that have gone blonde and some got better at a sweet prime age of 39 is throwing down performances like this.
Açılıyor. Arlan açıldı ya. Иә. Кетті ашығысқа Брандау да кетті қазір. Заклюнил здесь Диего. Бәрін лақтырып жатыр. Не бар?
Болтанула Жұмана Жұмабекова.
Әптәуір бастағанда Жұмабеков, бірақ қазір
Как будто история сейчас творится.
айналып кетті ғой кәдімгі. Я қараңыздар. Нокдаун. Оформляет Диего Брандау во втором раунде. И әбден шашатқан сияқты соққылармен. Что произошло? Жұмана. Тұру керек.
Нужно вставать.
8-ге дейін тұрады ма жоқ па? Жоқ. Сенсация сегодняшнего вечера.
And there he is again, breaking the narrative, going against the flow, being a Russian wrecking machine. So
What,
there you go.
what was that? It's just small glove boxing, Russian small glove boxing.
Basically, yeah,
That was
yeah,
cool.
right. The combat sports landscape is like evolving into like the promoters are like what we talked about. They're like they're seeing the comments and they're trying to give people what they want to see the most. Like, yeah, shout out to Diego, man. I hope you get a lot more paychecks, stay healthy, and keep doing that. John, what's your thoughts when you see a blonde version of Brad? I've never seen a blonde before. First off, that's just weird for me.
Yeah, when I first saw that clip, I didn't even know that was Diego Brandao. I thought it was a different person. I was like, is that a different Diego Brandao? Because, you know, obviously with the blonde hair, right?
Right.
But then you look at his face and it's like, oh yeah, that is Diego Brandao. Yeah, man, like it's great to see him just continue to do what he does. Anybody named Diego, right? Like you just don't want to fight him. Like Diego Sanchez back in his heyday. He kind of reminds me of Diego Sanchez in a lot of ways, right? It's just getting some crazy fights and winning. Yeah, like he showed up in some of the most obscure promotions all over the world and just wins. And the guys that he's beaten, right? Obviously, these are set up fights for them to beat Diego, and Diego does his thing. And I'm pretty sure those guys disappear after that those fights. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to see. And I'm thinking he's getting paid a lot to go out to these places to compete. Yeah, man. Hopefully, he continues doing it. And man, it would have been cool to see him back in the UFC. To be honest with you,
Sure would have. Hopefully there's still a chance. I don't know. We don't give up until it's all over with. Zach, we've talked a lot about being the B-side, wrecking the story, right? Coming in and just fucking up. I mean, what do you think about this guy who's like literally made a whole ass career of doing it?
Dude, it's if you can, it's a hard living, but it's a lucrative living, right? I just got offered 2 days ago this like huge deal to go fight in Russia. It ended up falling through, but I was like, these dudes are, if you're a UFC fighter, right? They want their Russian guys beating up UFC fighters. And I was like, so we gotta figure out if this is real. Like these numbers are insane if this is real money. But if you can go out there and beat their guys, beat the Russian guys, like it's a great living that you can make.
That's it. Well, folks, you just heard it. Got a lot of good information from both these guys. John, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you coming by. It's been a while since me and you got to be on screen together. So thank you for spending your time, man. Any final thoughts you want to share with the people before we close up?
No. Thank you for having me. And yeah, it's always good to catch up. You know, it's been, like you said, it's been a long time. And yeah, man, Zach, my question is to you. When are we going to see you fight again? You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure you're getting offers. Like you just said, you got one 2 days ago.
So, I mean, short answer, I don't have an answer for you, but I'm officially on the open market again. So I'm looking for any offers. So, you know, RIZIN, hit me up. Hit me up. I'm hoping, you know, to be fighting in relatively soon here coming up. But I do want to say one thing there to everyone, you know, listening. I don't know how many actual like fighters we have that watch our show. Like, I have no connection to John. I don't know him. I think he interviewed me one time 7 years ago, maybe for someone else. If you're a fighter right now, he puts out the best content for like what you need to do if you want to actually get to these organizations, the stuff the UFC cares about, the stuff sponsors care about, the stuff promoters care about, that's what John like puts out. And I don't think enough guys actually like listen and go, oh, I should do this. I should have a YouTube channel. I should use my mic time, right? But that is stuff I didn't listen to. I didn't give a shit about any of that stuff when I was in the UFC. And now that's the only reason why I make any money outside of the UFC is because of those things. So definitely follow John if you're a fighter, and listen to what he's telling you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Use your mic time. I think that's the most important one, man. Like, they still don't do it. They still don't do it, man. Like, it's like 5% of the fighters utilize their mic time properly. It's like, yeah, I understand you just got into a fight as well. So, you know what I mean? Maybe your coach should give you a little nudge after the fight. Be like, hey, talk about it. And you do see some of the coaches say stuff to the fighter after the fight when they're about to interview, like, hey, don't forget this, don't forget that. So we're seeing improvements, right? But yeah, man, that's just me. Like, I just want to like contribute positively to the MMA community, especially to the fighters, because without fighters, like, I started with nothing and then made a career out of it in MMA. Like, and I'll contribute all that to fighters, man. Like, without the fighters, I have nothing. So only way I can give back is to kind of share knowledge and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Yeah, Zach, I remember interviewing you. Yeah. Like, was it during the UFC? Maybe it was.
I don't know. It was either during Ultimate Fighter or when I was in the UFC. I'm not sure. It was in that time though.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm fortunate to just be able to like reach out to someone like Zach when he was in the UFC to like do interviews, man. Like, I feel like it doesn't happen as much anymore. You don't really see fighter interviews nowadays as much, right? Like,
no, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah. And if you don't do interviews, then create your own interviews on your own page, right? Like, that's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, create your own story, your own narratives and shit. Like, if you don't like talking to people, just talk to yourself and talk to your fans or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot there.
You know what? And I'm going to jump in this and I'm going to add and try to not make this a glaze session, but I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here in this camera talking with you guys, talking to all you guys watching and listening now and in the future. I wouldn't be friends with Zach. I wouldn't have gone through MMA media. I wouldn't have transitioned into the other side and helping promotions acquire fighters. I wouldn't have any of this stuff if it wasn't for John's knowledge and John's information that he didn't ever just give me nothing. He never gave me nothing, but he planted seeds in my mind. He gave me suggestions. Just like the fighters don't listen to him, there's 100 suggestions John gave me and I fucking pissed off and I didn't do. But there was a handful that I did, and it accelerated my life, made my life better, helped me do things that I didn't ever think possible. And John, man, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your wisdom. But end of the glazing fest, but I appreciate you a lot. And yeah, folks, go to his handles right there. You see him all over the place. Go check him out. He's got game. Listen to it. And folks, I think that's the end of it. Thank you for going the distance with us. It's been a good time. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, stay fully hydrated. All right.